Resources, inspiring interviews, business practices, and practical advice to take your art career to the next level. Join Sergio Gomez in today's Artist Next Level and get ready to take control of your career.
Hey, hello my friend, welcome to Breakfast with Sergio. Let's talk about what is the best advice that you as an artist have ever received. And that is a wonderful, wonderful question. I'm going to share actually with you in a bit what is the best advice that I as an artist have ever received. And the reason I was thinking about this for today's Breakfast with Sergio topic is because I was looking at the statistics of my blog, and I realized that one of the biggest or most visited pages on my blog is one article that I wrote, I don't know, maybe about 4 years ago, that is called 100 Artists Shared What's the Best Advice They Ever Received. And the way it happened is I went to Facebook and I said, hey guys, I'm gonna write a blog that says, what's the best advice you have ever received as an artist? And if you put your comments here, you will be included in the blog post. And well, over 100 artists from around the world shared with me through Facebook the best advice that ever received. I want to give you that link so you can check it out for yourselves. Amazing advice, like the 100 best tips that you can, have about the art career. So I'm going to share with you mine. The one I shared on that particular blog post. I think it's a really good one, and it's one that I think about quite often. And it's one that actually why I still do Breakfast with Sergio and my podcast and everything else that I do here in social media. Well, my friends, the best advice that I have ever received came many, many years from a friend of mine. Her name is Ruthzarkovich. Maybe she's watching. And she told me, Sergio, here's a good piece of advice. It's always about working with people. To make it in the art world, to make it as an artist, to make it as whatever you want, it's always about working with people, right? Learn to work with people and you haven't made. And what a great advice, just that, everything is about working with people. Just a few words that have made a huge, giant difference in my art career over the years. When I look back, over the last 20, 30 years and everything that I've been doing, it's always about people. And that's why Breakfast with Sergio started, because I wanted to connect with more people. That's why I started a podcast, because I wanted to be able to talk, to more people. And we did our coaching program, our Next Level Academy, because we wanted to help more people. And as an artist myself, even though when I'm in the studio it's just me, but when I'm out and when I get the word out into the world, I was thinking, how can I get it to more people? How can I connect with more people? And what a great piece of advice, because when you really think about it, right? When you really think about it, everything that we do as artists, relates to people, except the art making, which mostly happens in isolation. But the moment that artwork is done and it's out in the world, if you want to have a show, you gotta work with somebody, right? If you want to have that to be seen or exhibited somewhere, well, you gotta talk to a gallerist or a curator or somebody who's gonna give you that opportunity. That's a person that you need to connect with. If you want to sell that artwork, well, you need to share it, show it, and then you need to be able to talk to people about the art, about the logistics, about the price, about what's made of, about everything else. So when you think about it, everything that we do in our art career and the success that also happens from our art career a lot of times has also to do with our ability to connect with people, to work with people, our ability to also manage the relationships that we have with people. If you have a gallery, you're working with a gallery, well, that's a relationship that you need to manage. If you have an agent, that's a relationship that you need to manage. If you're just working on your own, but you are selling your art on your own on social media or through your website, well, you are managing those relationships that you have with your buyers, with your collectors. So even other artist relationships we need to manage, which sometimes they could be challenged. So, my friend, in this episode, I want to kind of give you, also share with you that piece of advice that was given to me many, many years ago of, if you want to advance your art career further than where you're at, you have to work with people. You have to learn to work with people. You have to, be able to manage those relationships in a way that that is good, that the other person feels that is good working with you, and that you feel good about working with the other person. Now, I know there are a lot of people out there who are really difficult to work with. I have being in those shoes where, I work with somebody like, I don't want to work with this person anymore. It could be an artist, from the curator standpoint, like, I don't want to work with that artist anymore because it's just a really difficult person. Or it could be the other way around. Me as an artist working with a gallery or with a curator or somebody else, and like, you know what, maybe it's a great opportunity, but I just hate working with that person because it's just not good. That person is really bad at communicating. And that's exactly kind of also the second part of this, this idea of you need to be able to work with people, right? This advice. The second part of that, of working with people, is, in my opinion, over the years, what I have experienced is that you always have to over-communicate. Always over-communicate. It is really bad when we under-communicate, because when we under-communicate, what happens is we make assumptions. Well, I assumed that you were going to do that, and because I assumed you were going to do that, I didn't do it. Or vice versa, the other person assumed I was going to do something, and because I didn't do it, the project failed, or there was a misunderstanding, or the exhibition went wrong, or the artwork didn't get finished. There are always problems when we under-communicate. But if you are an artist who over-communicates, most of the problems get resolved before they become a problem. Most of the issues get resolved before they become issues, because you are over-communicating. You are explaining, you are putting all the cards on the table from the get-go so that it avoids problems. So if you are right now working on a project, or working with a gallery, or working with a collector or a curator or somebody else, always over-communicate. It's something I talk a lot, to the artists I coach in the Inside Our Next Level Academy. Like, it's never a bad idea to over-communicate, and always think about what does it need to be said in this that I'm working on, so that the other people that I'm working with kind of have the whole picture of how I see it in my head, and I don't have to make those assumptions. And the moment that you start working and you feel like assumptions have been made, immediately over-communicate, jump in and over-communicate, because when you do that, you will really avoid some of the bigger issues that can come along the way. So that was kind of like the best piece of advice that I received, that now I want to share it with you. Learn to work with people and always over-communicate. Ooh, the bell, that's the bell for the microwave, so I gotta get going. Gotta put more in my breakfast. But, that's the idea, right? That's the idea that I wanted to share with you. And if you want to take a look at this really cool article, over 100 artists share the best advice that they ever received, you gotta go to my website, theartistnextlevel.com, click on blog. I'm gonna tap it right there so you can see it. It'll be right on the blog. And also I'm gonna put the link right under the description here of this video, so you can just click on that link and go directly to that blog post and read that amazing advice from 100 artists from around the world who shared the best advice they've ever received. So, and if you want to share, my friend, let's make that bigger. If you want to share the best advice that you have ever received, why don't you go to the comments under this video and then share that with us as well. That would be really awesome. So have a great rest of your day. Gotta get back to my breakfast. It's really good. Bye.
Check out our website at www.theartistnextlevel.com, where you will find our podcast library, learn about our upcoming webinars, find resources relevant to your career, and much more. Thanks for listening to today's podcast, and we'll see you at the next level.